Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats, here with writer-director Richie Mehta. How did it feel to be nominated for 2 GENIE Awards and to win a jury award for your film Amal?
It felt rewarding. It was a really long process to get the film kind of executed, and so it's your first feature. You always have a real attachment to it, and in my mind, when we got the resources to do it, it was like do or die. If we don't do this well, we're not going to get a chance to do it again. So it became, can we do the best job we can? And when those kind of accolades came in, it definitely was gratification from the community.
How long were you working on the project?
Well, we did a short film first. So from the overall story of the project, probably about 5 years. That the feature film itself was 3. So, and again, I know in the grand scheme it's actually not that long, considering, I mean, the film I'm doing right now took about 12. So, but I guess, again, because it's your first, you kind of hold it in a special place.
What things in particular did you learn working on Amal that you're now applying to your new film, I'll Follow You Down?
They were very different beasts. A lot of the things I learned on Amal had to do with story and structure. You know, the editing process took a long time with Amal's, and I think with this is probably going to be a lot more succinct, just because we got a lot of that stuff out of the way in the script stage. But in terms of execution, in terms of actually like on-set directing, they were such different beasts because one was in Delhi, one was in Toronto. So, for instance, in Delhi, if you're shooting a scene with 200 or 300 people in the background, they're real, and you just throw your actors in there. Over here, if you have 200 or 300 people, you have to direct them, and you have a time limit. So you're controlling everything. So it was actually a very different way of looking at things. And I've been trained to do the latter, like to direct everybody and to control it. I was never trained to do the India way. So it actually became a whole learning curve there, and now it's coming back to what I actually should know.
Did you come into any difficulties not being able to direct the background? Were there issues as far as continuity went or anything like that?
There always are,
Yeah.
hopefully stuff that the audience never notices.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, when you're doing something over there, it's like you don't get to direct that background, so when you do another take, it's going to be a different background, which is actually fine. But over here, it is the same thing. The biggest issue here is the time limit. It's easier to actually throw your actors in when you have a limited time into the ruckus and get the shots you need and run away, versus no, everything in the frame is controlled and you have to do it in the next half hour. So that becomes a huge issue. But they both have their advantages. Yeah.
What inspired you to become a filmmaker in the first place?
I think it was there from like infancy. I always wanted to do it. I was always attracted to movies, loving movies, but really kind of identifying with the language that they spoke. And it became a whole journey of figuring out how do I get into this, because where I grew up in the suburbs here, there was, like, you know, my guidance counselors couldn't tell me how do you get into filmmaking. It just wasn't something that was in the lexicon. So it became a whole process of discovery. How do and is it viable? And then when I got to university and I figured out, okay, you know what, I was starting to see programs, I was starting to see avenues to go into it, then I really kind of committed. But it was always, I wanted to get into it, I just didn't know how.
What advice would you give to an aspiring filmmaker?
I would say you have to be willing to give everything into this. And I really mean that. Like, it's not when you say 100%, it's like 100%, which means there may not be room for anything else for a little while in your life. And it doesn't mean you have to give 100%, you have to be willing to. And if you're willing to, in a very honest way, in a very earnest way, I think that's kind of the starting point. And if you're not, you're going to find very quickly that you may not want to do this.
And where's the best place to find out more information on your past projects and your future projects online?
Well, I think amalthefilm.com has the kind of information on Amal, which was 2008. The next one, I'll Follow You Down, we don't have our website up and running yet, but the film should probably be done by the end of the year and then released in 2013, so through E1 in Canada.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Richie, and congratulations on all of your success, and best of luck with your upcoming projects.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats here at RAINDANCE Toronto.